For more on this, I'm now joined by Ian Reifovitz, history professor at Empire State College in the US. Hello, thank you very much indeed for being with us. Now, Donald Trump has said that a law, quote, Democrats gave us, is responsible for this separation policy. A short while ago, he tweeted, change the laws. Which law is he referring to exactly?
Well, there is no law. And what's interesting is that the media has been, including the report we just heard on France 24, has been very clear in stating that Donald Trump is wrong about the existence of this law. There's a court case called the Flores decision from 20 years ago that some in the administration have referred to, but there is no law that required this. The previous administrations, Obama, Bush, Clinton, none of them did this. And in fact, within the White House, you have the real hardliner Stephen Miller, who's responsible for a lot of the immigration policy. He is an acolyte of Steve Bannon. And Stephen Miller was quoted on record as saying, quote, it was a simple decision by the administration to have a zero tolerance policy for illegal entry, period, end quote. If this is a law that the White House has been required to follow, then it suggests that the Obama and Bush administrations before them were ignoring the law or breaking the law. No, there was never any court case or any measure taken to push the Obama or Clinton or Bush administrations to follow this law. So it's obvious that there was no law, and as the White House's own Stephen Miller admitted, it was a decision by the White House to change its policy.
The Department of Homeland Security, though, says it doesn't have a policy of separating families at the border. Is it semantics? I mean, we heard in the report that, this is actually what's happening. It might not be written down as such, but that is what's happening, right?
Right. It is largely semantics. There is one policy that says that you don't put children in detention facilities. You don't put children in jail. So if you don't put children in jail, but you do decide to jail all parents who come across the border with children who come across undocumented, then ipso facto, you're going to, by jailing the parents and not jailing the children, you're going to be separating the families. The previous administrations, you had recognized that they had the discretion about who to put in jail and who not, and they would keep the children and the families together in a different kind of facility or even send them into the community. There were different options, but this was a choice. What's really interesting is that on Friday, I believe, a White House official went, not on the record, but off the record, but said, well, the president sees this zero tolerance family separation policy as leverage. He thinks he'll be able to use this to get the Democrats to give in on some of the other hardline immigration policies that he wants. On Sunday, the White House officials like Kellyanne Conway came out and the Homeland Security Advisor, Ms. Nielsen, came out and said, oh, no, that unnamed official was wrong. That's not the policy. But that looks really bad for the administration if they're separating families in order to get leverage on the Democrats to get some other bills passed relating to immigration. It just shows you how cynical this political strategy is.
And is the policy even working? I mean, has the number of families trying to enter the US without documentation fallen since Jeff Sessions announced the policy in April?
I don't know that there's been enough time to measure anything that accurately. I think their thinking is that they'll stop some people from starting the journey. The journey it can be a months-long journey. There is a different policy and a different law for families that come from Mexico and Canada. They can be sent back immediately. So when you're talking about you're talking about families coming from somewhere other than Mexico or Canada, you're talking about families coming from south of Mexico. So it's a longer journey. Their argument is that it will take some time to see the effects of their new tough, zero tolerance policy. And I think we'd have to wait on that. And there are other factors also that affect how many people come, economy, a million other things.
All right. Well, thank you very much indeed for your time and your analysis. That was Ian Reifovitz joining us from the US.